Yeah, very big welcome to you, my dear Sagittarius. So the Earth has continued its path around the Sun, and we see now behind the Sun the constellation Virgo, and the Moon, the same, has continued its path around the Earth. And we see behind the Moon the constellation Sagittarius. So this moment happens only once a year, and that's when I do the reading for you. And we see Virgo, the 6th house of health, giving you the light. You are the 9th house of philosophy. And Virgo is ruled by Mercury, so there is the messenger perspective coming to you, and you are ruled by Jupiter, which is that expansion, the expansion to grow, the expansion to continue the exchange between masculine and feminine, and the blending here, right, in the temperance perspective. And Virgo is very good in blending, very good, because Virgo is the hermit. Virgo is that moment where we say, well, I find deep within myself everything that I'm looking outside of myself, and that which is outside can leave, that which is inside stays. The yoga position for Virgo is mountain pose with Namaste. Here I find myself up in the mountains again, in the cosmic egg, and finding that I have found the past and the future in the present moment. For you, I gave you forward bend Paschimottanasana, and so here you can see deep within when you are coming into that state of consciousness that says, well, I know that I give and I take, I know that I breathe in and breathe out, then I have arrived. So this is just Sun and Moon right now, the constellation of this reading. Now I place the card to the left because we're going back to the new moon, and when we go to the new moon, the reading is always back to the soul, to the left, right? And so today the reading is going to the left, and then when you have arrived at the new moon, we will go to the right. We will go again to your opposite sign, which gives you the light, and that's Gemini. So just that you understand, right, an age is 2,150 years long. We create that by the wobble that goes to the left, and a wobble of the earth itself is 25,800 years. We divide it through the 12th zodiac sign, and we're getting an age of 2,150 years. Currently we're going from the age of Pisces into the age of Aquarius, and so that's also a reason why to the left is a soul cycle, right? To the right, that's the human, the spinning of the earth every 24 hours. The court card that is connected with you is here, this beautiful eagle, the totem of pipes, the eagle that flies. Is your birthday between November 13 and December 11, then this is your court card. If not, look please in the description below. I have listed them all, so it's either the one before or the one after the eagle, right? Back to the last reading where Leo Sun gave Sagittarius Moon the light, because I incorporate the last reading to see if anything has changed, if anything is come up a second time, and also what the title is. Give and take equally, and you'll experience a new kind of freedom. So I'm going to take the light a little bit away. It's not so good. But you see the Six of Pentacles, you see the eyes, and you see yourself here. The Knight of Inspiration running, right, to the left, running into the soul cycle. And so we will see what Virgo wants to tell you. And I'm just going to pull one more card. This is the Live Through My Healing Oracle. This oracle has all the rune alphabet in it. There are 78 cards. And let's see what's talking here to you. All right. So, Gifu, gift, generosity. The number 7. You can stop the video and make it even big and read it yourself. So I see an X and a second one where the text is inside. Sacred Saxon cross-stitched cast to mask the purging and passing of that line to this time. Merge moments, give thyself to new endeavors and fresh found friendships. Step, meet, soul, greet, balance, the astral align and shift. Generosity shines bright and fair, but stay aware, for every gift to emerge, its reverse was birthed. Well, we know, right, because you're blending the positive and the negative, the masculine and the feminine. And so here is a message for you to always remember that if you take one line, you have the other one, and then you have the crossing, and then you have the center where the crossing is. So the gift or that generosity of yours when you blend, right? Remember, you're the card number 14. 14 then becomes a 5 if it's the 5 senses. Here it's the 9, it's the completion. Here in Salvador Dali's deck, it's Luca Pacioli, a Renaissance scholar who actually invented the bookkeeping with the numbers. And so I really like that because I love numbers. And I do have Virgo as major arcana in my chart. But on the court card, I am a Queen of Swords. So that's why I let you always know, have a look down below, because sometimes you might not be connected with the Knight of Wands, right? You are Temperance, but you might have a different court card. All right, so give and take equally, and you'll experience a new kind of freedom. Let's have a look what Virgo is wanting to tell you. And we begin, as usual, on the position of the Fool. The Fool is the seed that we recognize wants to grow, and so there is also a gift through this seed, a seed that blossoms, right? That is merging, and that's a fresh energy that's wanting to come you, a fresh new friendship that's wanting to come you. And so here you are seeing the Page of Swords, and the Page of Swords are all 3 air signs, which is Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. So I told you that we're going into the age of Aquarius because the spin of the Earth to the left slowly moves into the age of Aquarius. And we have also Pluto moving next year into the age of Aquarius. So maybe there is a sign or something telling you, well, the Fool, that foolish idea, that new way of thinking is upon you already, and you feel it, right? The internet, the star is the internet up there that is bringing us the information. On the position of the Magician, the potential, right? The resources, the one that has all 4 elements lying there and can use them, comes the Holy Mountain. That's the 25. The 25 becomes also a 7. So the 2 is the High Priestess. The 5 is the Hierophant, which is also a high priestess, the five senses. The duality in the five senses create then the seventh chakra, the crown chakra. And you find the crown chakra here up in the mountain, sitting and meditating and having that young generation inspiring you. Now, when we calculate the 25 with the 1, we get actually an 8. Then you get the 8 as that infinite number, as that infinite potential that you are now having the resources for, and can see in your meditation what it is that you want to bring or what you want to live in this new age. On the position of the High Priestess comes the Seeker. She is here sitting at the water, and the card is the Four of Wands, the Lord of perfected work. And the Four of Wands is connected with the constellation Venus in Aries. And Venus in Aries is a high time, is marriage sometimes, right? And nevertheless, it's also, you have created the perfect moment to now recognize that the 4 and the 2 creates a 6. The 6 leads you to self-love, which is Gemini, the lovers. And Gemini is opposite of you, right? So now, though, you're going deep down to yourself. You're going into the new moon, sun and new moon, both in your sign. No one interfering. You are just all alone there. And that's happening then in the month of December. So your intuition is letting you know, well, continue the work, continue what you're working on, because there is a celebration ahead, a celebration of recognizing that you saw something here in this mountain, right? When you were up and had that moment of thought. Then on the position of the Empress comes here the Wheel of Fortune, which is Jupiter. You're ruled by Jupiter, right? Jupiter is the wise one. Jupiter is the one that wants to expand. And the wheel continues, right? And so we have the number 10, and the 3 is the 13. The 13 is Scorpio, the death card. The 1, the Magician. The 3, the Empress. And calculated together, we get a 4. And the 4 is then the Emperor. The 4 is then knowing that the Magician has all 4 elements, and you see the 4 elements up here in the mountain, as the 5th element, right, is recognizing, oh, I exist, I am here. And then the 2 dualities, the last one here in the 3rd eye, you will recognize that everything comes and goes, and your job is now to be bounty. Your job is now to let the things just unfold the way they want to unfold. A high time, right, through the 4 of Wands, Venus again in Aries. Then on the position of the Hermit comes the Caballero de Espadas. And the Caballero de Espadas is actually the Knight of Swords, which is actually here the Page of Swords, the young generation of a Gemini. And so here comes Gemini, and Gemini is here giving you an understanding that this new thought, this new energy that is coming through Virgo, through the light of Virgo, the light, the lantern that Virgo is holding for all of us, right? A union, a deep union where you see the sword here is pointing at the Wheel of Fortune. And the Wheel of Fortune is that infinite spin, right? La roue du fortune. These are French cards. And we recognize that everything, what we think about, will become a manifestation. On the position of the totem of pipes, the Knight of Wands, comes here the discernment, the judgment, right? The number 20, the 2, and you, the 9th zodiac sign, creates an 11, a portal. And you see how she is looking into the left spinning while he is looking at the right spinning. Always remember, right is the human consciousness and left is your soul giving you a glimpse into the work. Now you see how you're flying more to the right, right? Philosophy is something that you find deep within, but then you have to bring it to the people so that people can understand how philosophy is working. And you are becoming here a visual, a connection to that deep within you. There is this one thought, and that one thought is important to you. That one thought has come through the page, maybe a young Gemini, but also here through the Wheel of Fortune, right? This one energy, the number 1, the one sword. And then of course here the 2 with you, the 9, creates a 1-1, an 11 portal. And you recognize that Gemini is the 3rd zodiac sign. Gemini is the communication. Gemini will talk to you, but more in the human aspect, not through the soul. Here the soul comes through the last judgment. Because then on the position of Temperance comes here the 6 of Arrows. And the 6 of Arrows is then giving you an understanding that your mind is seeing that you are thinking about the alchemical shift that water and fire has, that you are, through the constellation Mercury in Aquarius, getting a download of information, and you see that in your head. You see how she's looking at the sun, and you see how she is literally like recognizing, I have to blend constantly the masculine and the feminine, and when I blend, then all is good. So recognize that, right? See that, because the 6 of Arrows is gaining new knowledge, and it's important that you're gaining this new knowledge, because that's philosophy. There's a stage of consciousness that brings you deeper to learning through Aquarius, and because that's why you have here Gemini and Libra and Aquarius. These are all thinkers. Yeah, they're not doers, they're thinkers. And so the 6 here is that you are in a magical process of really learning something, right? You really realizing something, understanding something. Then on the position of the Moon, these are the grandmothers that give us the seeds. Here comes the Watchers, the transpersonal. And you see again here the light, the number 60, the 6 is Gemini, right? The Lovers is the opposite sign to you. And up in the mountain you have gained the light here. You have realized the number 7, which is the crown chakra. The 6 is the 6th chakra, the 3rd eye. You see here that you are awakening. Look at this, right? You are awakening. You are seeing that the Gemini force is where you have been, and now you're going slowly again to your own place, right, where Sun and New Moon are both in your sign. So you're going back into the dark, but you see that in the light. You see that in the holy mountain moment with the Magician, that you have arrived and have realized something. Because then on the position of the Sun, which is in Virgo, right? You see that here comes the 15 and she's looking at that. So Virgo, which is the completion and who has brought you Gemini, is saying, well, remember, you were in the light, now you're going back down to yourself, and she sees that. And the number 15 creates a 6. This is Capricorn, right? This is the 1 and the 5 senses, the 1, the magician, and the 6-6 portal here. And you have a 6, so you have 3 times 6. So I think this might be at the front, right? The cover. But the 6-6 portal is the hexagram, is a very powerful sign, is letting you know something here is talking to you, because you had a 6 here as well through the High Priestess and the 4 of Wands, right? That's a 6. And you learning to see that everything has its message, everything has its right and left, up and down. And so the Sun giving you the Caballero de Espadas, right? The Knight of Swords is bringing you a clear mental understanding what is happening here, because you have the 19, the Sun, then creates a 10. The 10 and the 15, or the 6, right, is the 16 is the Tower, and the Tower is like, understand that the Tower says you have to let go of things. If you really want to be up here and abundant, you have to let go. And what does that create together? The 7. Here, the gift and the generosity then will help you to understand that new things want to come to you, and that the Sun, that Virgo, is bringing that to you, that Gemini has made you realize that in the last full moon, right? The full moon where Gemini was giving you the light, and now you're going to the new moon and you're going deep within, because on the position of the world, which is the dancer, you're dancing. When you have arrived at the world, you have realized something, comes the 2 of Swords. And the 2 of Swords is connected with the constellation Moon in Libra. And so we have 6 of arrows, and we have again 2 arrows. That's 8 arrows. 8 is that infinite understanding that everything comes and goes. That infinite understanding that you are keep inhaling and exhaling, pouring water into one bowl and back into the other bowl. And that's the dance of the 21, the 2, the High Priestess, the 1, the Magician, together creates the 3, the Empress. And on the Empress, what did you get? You got the 10, right? So know that everything is turning, everything is twisting, everything is swirling. You're dancing, you're realizing, you're understanding through the numbers, through the pictures, whatever works for you, right? It's not about to be perfect. It's about realizing that it continues, right? The journey continues, because now I put him here to close the cycle. You see that there's one clear thought, and then all of a sudden, out of one clear thought, the mind says, well, should I go right or should I go left, right? What should I do? So sometimes we then come into the duality, and the duality is always like leading us to a place where we maybe not want to be, because the Moon in Libra is that balancing out my mind, but also dancing on one foot and then on the other, right? Here's the world, the 21, the 3 and the 2 creates a 5, and the 5 is then the 5 elements from where you're learning, because you're the 14, 1 and 4 is the 5. The 5 is a very strong number for you, and the 5 is in here with the 15, but that's then the 6, and that's Gemini, and Gemini was here, right? Just remember, Gemini was here. And Gemini is also looking to the right, like this lady is looking to the right. She has the earth, she has the home here, she has realized something, and so have you, right? You have realized that up in the mountain, the 25 is a 7, and so here you have realized the gift and the generosity up in the mountain. And so I think you understand what's wanting to talk to you, because remember here we have the 18, which is the 9, and the 6 is also a 15, so we have a 15-15 portal, a 6 again, so you have a 6, a 6, a 6, and the 6 here, right? So 4 times 6, so, and you have a 6, 4 times 6, right? You recognize something. The 6 is clear, right? Because also it's your opposite sign, Gemini, right? The Lovers, it's the 6th major arcana, but it's the 3rd zodiac sign, and the 3rd zodiac sign came up, and the young generation of it, right? So here you can see them, right? I mean, when I put it here, it's like this, right? So you can see that you are learning, you are continuously learning, and that you are here now recognizing deep inside of your head the fulfillment of bringing the dualities constantly together, that you are wanting to create a peaceful moment here. An inner peace is coming over you because you realize, okay, there's only 2 things. There's a full moon and there's the new moon, and those are these 2 sides. I go to the right, I go to the left. And you're learning that, and you're understanding that, and you're integrating that. And that's what's happening with the gift, right? The gift is in your crown chakra, speaking to you so that you can live that and also just bring it to the people, or live it with the people. So I hope I see you in the next reading, because then the earth continues its path around the sun, and we see in the next reading, we see the constellation Libra behind the sun, right? So there's a justice coming to you. So you have the 2 of voices. You're going to see that this card is already letting you know that something is speaking to you through the swords. Until then, I thank you so much for being with me. Namaste.